tell us your name and roll number for the citizen?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Akash. My roll number is 301454.
Okay, now without mentioning your name, roll number, or your public side, please give a brief introduction.
Good afternoon, sir. My roll number is 301454. I hail from Rourkela. Rourkela is situated in Sundargarh district. Sundargarh district has many wonders, which are cultural, administrative, technological. So culturally, it is having a large number of scheduled tribe population. Infrastructurally, it has one of the oldest steel plant. It is also having one of the oldest National Institute of Technology. There are also many natural wonders like Khandadhar Jalaprapat, Ved Vyas, which are major tourist destination in Sundargarh.
Okay, as you can see, you are an institute career and you have also done a PhD from JLE.
Yes. Yes.
What was the topic of your research?
My topic for PhD research was digital technology and slum dwellers, a study in selected slums of Rourkela. So in my research, I tried to find out the problem of digital divide within slum and also the politics that is taking place in terms of access and use of digital technology in slum, and also the role of caste, gender, education, and religion in determining access and use of digital technology.
So, what was your conclusion regarding digital divide in slums and some what solutions should be proposed in your business?
Yes, sir. I found out that there is a digital divide within the urban sphere. There is also a layered digital divide within slum, where I found that there is relative deprivation of digital technology and there is also absolute deprivation of digital technology. Relative deprivation of digital technology basically means particularly women have lesser access to digital technology and they are constantly being monitored and constantly being under surveillance by their parents and also male family members. And absolute digital divide or absolute deprivation of digital technology means there are families who are having not sufficient income and who are also lacking adequate digital skills. Therefore, they are being deprived from accessing digital technology. And coming to the solution, I found out that first of all, providing access is the first layer of solution that can be introduced. Then equipping them with adequate skills, particularly like adult education program or some form of camp, can be quite fruitful for slum dwellers in accessing and using digital technology.
So now suppose you have joined a police administration service and in your district there is substantial amount of or there is a substantial tribal population. Government wants to narrow or completely eliminate digital divide and so that the tribal people also they will understand and appreciate and adopt the new technologies. You are given the responsibility of spreading awareness and ensuring that they come on board. So at least 3 points you give me what are the steps that you will take to popularize digital technologies. Given the demands that they are not, generally very interested in it, and they view it as some kind of, government. They view it as a negative way. The government is trying to dilute their culture or impose something on them, which may interfere with their culture. So in that case, what steps should you take?
So first step that I would like to emphasize is that there should be proper infrastructural development in the region, particularly in terms of establishing mobile network towers And the second step that I would like to emphasize, since the tribes are having a questionable attitude to digital technology, that it can hamper their culture. So we can merge, or we can start some initiative through which we can, on the one side, we can popularize digital technology, and on the other hand, their tribal culture can also be protected. For example, recently Odisha government had started promoting the state government scheme by means of traditional art forms, folk art forms and popular art forms like Pala and Daskathia. So similarly, such tribal tradition, tribal cultural practices can be used for spreading awareness. And third thing that I would like to emphasize is that uh, in since the population that I'm dealing with are tribals, it needs it needs a gradual step. The first beneficiary for the proposed project can be the youth, because youth are also catalyst for many development projects. Then meanwhile, the other population, particularly the youngsters and other senior citizens, can also be brought to the mainstream.
Um, Tell me something about your publications. Like how many publications you have in one of the journal?
Yes, sir. I have published two articles. Both are in Journal of Critical Review. The first article is about digital technology in India. It deals with the history of digital technology in India. Then the second article is about social networking and the micro celebrity. I have talked about the case study of Isaac Munda, who became famous during the COVID period for telecasting his food habits in the YouTube.
You know, how long did you stay in Hyderabad?
I stayed there for 5 years, but because of COVID, it got extended. We vacated the room in 2022 March itself, but the authority gave us permission, the formal sanction in 2021 November.
So, 4 and 5 years you have stayed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there has been demand for change of name of Hyderabad.
Yes,
to
sir.
Nagarnagar.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, there have been demand for change of certain cities, other cities. Some have already been changed.
Yes.
Some institutions name includes certain prevention university. So overall, generally speaking, what is your opinion regarding changing of names of cities or organizations? Do you support it or think that it does not solve the problem?
Sir, my opinion regarding change of the name is that particular cities establish or emerge through a phase of history. They have its own, each city or each institute has its own history. So changing name is, if it is done for a larger interest, then it can be beneficial. But if it is being done for any particular political gain or to please any community, then it has some problem. And the second thing is that if we are changing name, I believe that changing name is less important than changing the civic environment or changing the infrastructural environment or the development position of either institution or city.
You have a very impressive record for higher education. So why are you not interested in academia, joining in some university as assistant professor? You have already here JRF in 2019. And so your PhD also through the JRF you were doing?
No, sir. For sociology particularly, there is one entrance exam, then there will be an interview, then the final result will come out. JNU particularly doesn't take sociology PhD students on the basis of JRF. It is applicable for some other courses.
But what about your stipend and all that they provide?
Yes, sir, they provide. Because,
So
sir,
it's
yes,
independent of your JRF.
yes, sir.
That means you are actually not available the JRF, what is that,
Stipend. No, sir, I have availed the amount, but the selection process doesn't take JRF criteria as a consideration.
Yeah, so why civil service? Because you are expert in social service and you have contributed in that in academia and so can you at least three good reasons why you are interested in civil service?
So the first reason that I would like to emphasize is that civil service allows to work at ground level and at practical level, whereas higher education deals at theoretical and conceptual level. And the second main reason behind choosing civil service is that civil service allows for working in different platforms and across departments, but that is not available in higher academics. And the third reason is that my course itself, sociology itself, deals with society. And my PhD topic is something that can be quite helpful in further program implementation and formulation. So I believe that my PhD and the skills that I have acquired through PhD, the knowledge that I have acquired in PhD can effectively be translated if I become a civil servant.
Okay, so you must have taken some classes as a teaching assistant or
Yes, sir. When I was in JNU as a PhD scholar, I was teaching assistant for 2 semesters.
what were the subjects you were taking?
The first paper was modern sociological theory, and the second paper was science and industry.
Suppose in your class, if there is what is it, a student with special needs,
Yes.
suppose autistic student,
Okay, sir.
okay, even higher education, let's suppose. So, how are you going to deal with such a student?
Dealing with students with special needs means dealing with their study materials and also dealing with them inside the classroom and outside the classroom. First of all, I will ensure that the student has proper access to the reading materials. That secondly, I will try to help them inside the classroom by ensuring that they are sitting in the first row, and if they have any doubt, I will certainly give preference to them. And the third thing is that if they need any tutorial class or any other academic assistance, I will certainly be available for them even after the classes.
And your hobbies are reading and yoga.
Yes,
So
sir.
reading, can you be more specific? What like to read?
Sir, I like to read newspaper and books particularly, but books also includes both novel and also academic books.
And then yoga.
Yes, sir.
What are the qualities that you have learned from yoga? If you think will help you as a citizen?
Yoga particularly makes one's mind and body more healthy. Then the second great benefit of doing yoga is keeping one's mind stable and peaceful. And the third thing that I have learned from yoga is presence of mind, because the peaceful mind can also be effectively used for taking decision making. And the third thing that I have learned from yoga is concentration.
As a student of sociology, what is your opinion regarding the demand for legalization of same-sex marriage?
According to sociology, our cultural values change over a period of time. So, if there is a demand for legalization of same-sex marriage, it means our cultural values have changed. And in Indian context, since the Constitution allows an individual for right to life, and we were considering sexual orientation as a part of right to life, it is quite acceptable that same-sex marriage can be legalized. But meanwhile, we also needs to take into consideration the larger cultural tradition that have enriched Indian society. So legalization of same-sex marriage is good, it is acceptable, but our cultural tradition should not get harmed anyway.
Tell me something about polygamy and what are the advantages and disadvantages?
Sologamy is particularly a concept wherein an individual marries himself or herself. Sologamy has become popular in recent days. One advantage of sologamy is that the person, it's an act of independence. And the second advantage, particularly Indian context, where the marriage expenses, both for the groom side and for the bride side, is heavy. Sologamy is a solution to that. But on the other hand, marriage, the purpose of marriage in Indian tradition, particularly procreation, but sologamy does not provide space for procreation. And the second disadvantage is that marriage is a union of two individuals, which also provides sexual and emotional needs. Sologamy can provide an emotional need, but sexual needs can, the sexual need through sologamy can be questioned.
So, you did your 10th standard from Batch-Aarohan, Shiksha Niketan.
Yes.
So, tell me something about Batch-Aarohan and why he is considered as an Indian.
Bajirao is considered as the youngest martyr who died during the freedom struggle movement. In India, in Odisha particularly during the Garajat movement, Bajirao was a boy who was providing ferry service in the river Daya. When the Britishers asked him to cross the river, he refused him because he was a member of the Garjat movement. But when he refused to provide service to Britishers, they shot him at once. And henceforth, he became a symbol of martyrism in Orissa history.
Okay, so you have got Rajya Puraskar Scouts.
Yes, sir.
What is the motto of Scouts?
The motto of Scout and Guide is be prepared. It means one should always be prepared both in mind and body to dispose his or her duty.
You must have learned about different types of knots
Yes, sir.
on the, you know, your member of Scouts.
Yes, sir.
So, which one is the strongest knot and multi-purpose knot? For example, you have to rescue a person who has fallen in your well.
Yes, sir.
You have to use the knot.
Yes, sir.
Which knot will you use?
Sir, I cannot recall it correctly, but I think it is reef nut that can be used.
Reef knot.
Yes, sir.
What is that called? Rudy?
Sorry, sir, I can.
Reef knot to one of you call it?
Both are, sir.
How many jamborees have you attended?
Sorry, sir, how many?
Jamborees are there in your scouts camp, mega camps.
Yes, sir, I have attended one camp, one district level camp. It was held in Sundargarh itself.
So now let us come to some current affairs questions.
Yes.
So, what is your opinion regarding this amendment to the Wakaf Act, which the central government is proposing?
Yes, sir. Wakaf Act amendment has been a heated debate in current Indian context. My opinion regarding Wakaf Act amendment is that since minority protection has been guaranteed in Constitution, we must not do any amendment that can be harmful for a particular minority community. And even if there are any amendment, it should be democratic and participatory for the minority community itself. If these two things are met, these two conditions are met, then I think amendment, since the time is passing and so the society, then amendments are quite welcoming.
What is India's position regarding Palestine-Israel conflict? And suppose you are asked to recommend some steps to end this war.
Israel-Palestine conflict is an event that has gained international attention. But when we are talking about India's participation in the conflict, we must ensure that Israel, the attack that has been done by Israeli should be condemned, because it has done a lot of harm to vulnerable sections, particularly women and children. But we must also ensure that the rights and the civil liberties should also be protected, and any kind of terrorist activities, be it done in the name of protecting one community or be it done in the name of protecting nation state, should all be condemned. My action for resolving the dispute would be a peaceful negotiation between the leaders of both of the groups. I'd also like to welcome participation of global leaders and other organizations meant for peacekeeping.
Now, suppose you are posted in a sensitive area where there is a lot of maximum activity. And you are given the task by the government of spreading education in those areas.
Yes.
But there is active and constant state of the Naxalites.
Yes.
They are going on schools and they have given strong threats that any public servant or any teacher who comes will be appointed here, they will be eliminated.
Yes.
Okay. Government has promised you to provide all resources, security, etc.
Yes, sir.
So how are you going to, and the local people, they want their children to study.
Yes, sir.
They are also aware of the lessons.
Yes.
So what will be your long-term plan in that case? These 3 points together, where you would like to spread the education in that area. At the same time, ensuring safety of the teachers, of the staff,
Yes, sir.
and of the common people.
Yes, sir. Sir, my approach to spreading education in a Naxalite prone area, first of all, there should be proper infrastructure, like Anganwadi centers and school. Then the second thing is that the Anganwadi teacher, the teaching staff and the non-teaching staff, all of them should be recruited from the own community. And the third thing that has been a problem in Indian education system is the content of syllabus and the medium of instruction. I believe if the tribals have their own language, then education should be instructed in their own language, and education or the gains of education must come with other facilities, like there should be other civic amenities available to them. Otherwise, the availing education or ensuring success of education will be very difficult. So I believe I can also take help of some NGOs to spread education in the particular area.
So that should be the end of the interview.
Yes, sir.
So your answers are good, content is good.
Yes.
And opinion-based questions,
Yes.
you can answer in points.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And the best other things I find quite good. The content was okay.
Yes.
And the presentation shows each content. Okay.
Yes.
Everything is fine.
Yes.
Only the point where you say you get more.
Okay, sir. Yes.
And to mark you,
Yes, sir.
I'll give you around 150
Yes, sir.
for today's interview.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Best wishes.
Thanks.